Nobody hit them. Nobody screamed at them. Nobody did anything, and that was exactly the problem. There's a type of childhood wound that leaves no marks, no bruises, no obvious story to tell at therapy. Just a child, sitting at a dinner table full of people, feeling completely alone. And what happens to that child? What they become, how they love, how they fall apart. That's what we're talking about today. Stay with me, because some of what I'm about to say is going to feel uncomfortably familiar. Psychologists call it emotional neglect. But that term doesn't quite capture it. Because neglect sounds passive, quiet, harmless, it isn't. When a child reaches for connection, a story to tell, a drawing to show, a feeling to share, and the parent is distracted, dismissive, or just not there emotionally, something happens in that child's brain. It doesn't throw a tantrum. It doesn't fight back. It learns. It learns that needs are inconvenient, that feelings make people uncomfortable, that the safest version of yourself is a smaller one. And here's the part that will stay with you. That lesson doesn't end at childhood. It follows them everywhere. The ignored child grows up, and on the outside, they often look fine, more than fine actually. They're the high achievers, the people pleasers, the ones who are always there for everyone else, but somehow never ask for anything back. Why? Because they spent years auditioning for love, trying to be helpful enough, quiet enough, good enough to finally be noticed, and when that didn't work, they stopped asking altogether. Dr. Cray, Janice Webb, who spent decades researching emotional neglect, found something that stopped me cold. She said the ignored child doesn't grow up feeling unloved. They grow up feeling unlovable. There's a difference, and it changes everything. Unloved means someone failed you. Unlovable means the problem is you. That belief, silent, invisible, never spoken out loud, becomes the operating system they run their entire adult life on. You won't find it in dramatic breakdowns. You'll find it in quiet patterns. The person who apologizes constantly for existing, for taking up space, for having an opinion. The person who falls apart when someone doesn't text back, not because they're needy, but because silence was always the sound of rejection. The person who can sit with someone else's pain for hours, but the moment someone asks how they are, they go completely blank, because nobody ever taught them that their inner world mattered, so they stopped keeping track of it. Psychologists call this alexithymia, difficulty identifying your own emotions, and research shows it's significantly more common in adults who experienced emotional neglect as children. They didn't learn to feel, they learned to function. And for a long time, they didn't even know those were two different things. Here's what I want you to understand. If you grew up ignored, you didn't survive it by being weak, you survived it by being incredibly adaptive. You read rooms, you anticipate needs. You make people feel seen, because you know exactly what it feels like not to be. Those aren't wounds pretending to be strengths, they are strengths, built in the hardest possible way. But here's the thing about adaptive strategies. They were built for a world that no longer exists. You don't live in that house anymore. You don't need to make yourself small to stay safe. The work now, and it is work, is learning that you are allowed to take up space, that your needs are not inconvenient, that the silence you grew up in was never your fault, and that it's not too late to finally be heard. If this video describes someone you know, send it to them. No explanation needed. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for an ignored child is simply say, "I see you." And if this described you, the fact that you're here, trying to understand yourself, that already means something.